Hyperrealism has got to be that type of art where artists just have to get it right. This calls for a lot of time dedicated to practice in pursuit of perfection to get to the level where one can be considered a maestro. That being said, let us now take a look at this following hyperrealist. Enjoy! Hyperrealism art is a discipline that mostly entails precision and attention to details. These two, among many other skills that Taru has acclimatized himself to through practice and a few tricks he learned from school to become a master hyperrealist.
Realism painting involves painting to detail. So when I do my paintings, I focus on as much detail as possible in my paintings, and mostly I do painting of people. My art is actually mostly around people because I find people very fascinating, and I'm able to capture feelings and emotions through my paintings of people. So yes, so my paintings are basically close to something that looks real. Not yet there, but getting there. I've been an artist, I think, all my life. I started drawing when I was a child, very young. Painting, I officially started painting in 2020, but now venturing into it as a career was in 2022. Yes. Learning, I've been to school, yes, but honestly speaking, school didn't do much when it comes to learning art. I would say my breakthrough happened during COVID. In 2020 is when I sat down, and since I had so much time on our hands, I was able to come up with my own style of painting. So I can call myself a self-taught artist. School gave me the history and the technical part of art, yes.
Every painting he embarks on creating is always an opportunity for him to unleash his creativity on a large scale.
First, it starts with you need a frame. Personally, the artists who work with canvas only, they stretch the canvas like on a board or something, but personally I like stretching it on a frame. So you stretch the canvas on a frame, and then we apply something called silk vinyl, which is used in houses. People paint their walls with it. So you apply that on the canvas, depending on how you want it. Some people do 2, some people do 3 layers. Some people mix it with water, I don't. And then after that, after you stretched it on the canvas, then now you start painting. My process of painting, since I'm an oil painter, and oil takes long to dry, I build on my painting. So I start with a thin layer. As I get thicker, as the painting gets to the finishing.
Once he completes any artwork, the artist seeks various channels through which he can share his genius with the world, as well as make sales.
It's just like any other business. It involves a lot of marketing. It involves a lot of like word of mouth, spreading your art. It involves, so now for us we do things called exhibitions or shows. So a show is where there are many paintings from different artists with various themes. And then an exhibition is a couple of artists or even one artist, but the theme is one. So that's basically how we market ourselves, and that's the business side of it. And then also we do a lot of research. When it comes to we have things called open calls for galleries or competitions and stuff like that. So basically that's the business side of it when it comes to art, I would say.
Occasionally, challenges make it particularly arduous for the artist to practice his art.
As an artist, the challenges, honestly, I think I face are gatekeeping. Because in our industry, there are per se names already known in the art industry. So you as an emerging artist, it's very hard for you to get through certain places because you don't have per se an established name. And then also, where I'm at right now, as I've seen so far, is it doesn't matter how good your work is, it only depends on your name. So someone can come with work as good as yours and probably quote it for 95,000. And if you come with the same kind of work, same size, same everything, execution probably even better, if you don't have a name, you might not be able to sell it for that much. I think that's a challenge. And then also, I think also another challenge is spaces to exhibit our work. And also the spaces we exhibit with charge quite a high commission. So you'd find spaces charging like 50% commission. So you end up having to price your art really high. And then a problem with that is once you've priced your art really high, it has to stay like that, because the first person, if someone happens to buy it and they bought at that high price, if they hear, because the artwork is very small, people tend to meet. If they hear you sold a piece similar to theirs at a lower price, it sort of changes, messes up your market. So for me, I try as much as possible to keep off places where the commission is really high, so that it's at least somewhere where it can like balance around my prices. Also, I also think another challenge we have as artists is we don't have like a union or an association that speaks for us in the government or something like that. So it's very hard for us to get these opportunities. So I think that's also another challenge. And then prices of art materials. Right now, art is sort of trending in the Kenyan space and the world in general. So prices of materials are going really high. And now you see that needs to translate into your painting also. You need to also like cover up for that.
Apart from the face value of art, the creative input is something the artist implores people to start taking note of.
One thing people should get to know is when you're buying a painting, you are buying an artist's energy, right? Because, okay, let me speak for myself. I don't know as other artists how it goes, but when you're doing a painting, there's a lot of emotion and feeling that goes into it. Sometimes you do a painting and you get really tired, and you'll put it aside for some time as you think of how to execute it. Because sometimes you might not get exactly what you're looking for, so you put it aside to let it rest. So like there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of time that goes into doing these paintings. There's a lot of research also. We do a lot of research on how to develop a certain painting, and there's a lot of studies. Like there's so much that goes on into a painting that people don't see. You know, you see the finished product, but behind that finished product, there's so much that's gone on. So I would tell people that when you buy a painting, you're buying a piece of this artist. So when an artist gives you a price, right, he knows why he's giving you that price. And then also, there's something called curation that I think most of us artists have gone through, where you present your work to a curator. So a curator is someone who looks at work and then gives it quote unquote value. And they also do, like in an exhibition space, they arrange where different paintings are going to go. So most of us have gone through curation, so we already know the price range of our work. So when I'm coming to you with my price, just know that it's something that's been quoted by a curator. So at least, you know, people should not, of course you can talk about it, but don't make it seem like we're overcharging you, because I mean the art world has already spoken before, and I mean if we've sold at that price before, it just shows that that is worth the value that we are quoting. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. On Facebook, I am Taru_I_am. That's TARU_I_am. That's on Facebook and Instagram. You can find me there. I always reply to messages, so don't worry, I will not reply to you, yes. Okay, I've exhibited internationally already, exhibited in Nigeria, but like I want to go, I want my work to go beyond borders to the point where I have collectors outside Africa, quote unquote. So I think in the next 3, 4, 5 years, I should have done an exhibition outside Kenya. Like my work should be exhibited somewhere outside Africa, sorry. Yes, so that's where I see myself, and I am slowly working towards it.
If realness was a venture, then hyperrealism would be the art.